Ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, my name is Reavyne and welcome back to my channel. Now in today's video we're going to be talking about the brand new heroes that will be arriving sometime before Season 2 starts, or maybe like at the very start of Season 2. Let's hope it's not anything later. We need these guys to bring some fresh content to the game that is desperately needed. Now today we're going to be talking about what faction these new characters are going to be on. Now we have 3 existing factions already, and it's going to be interesting to see whether they just try and slot these brand new characters into the existing factions, or if they try and make a completely separate faction like a mercenary faction that these heroes can be in, where anyone can play them and you don't need to be tied to either, you know, the Vikings, the Knights, or the Samurai. Now the way this currently works is every time a new season rolls around we will get 2 brand new heroes. Now of course this doesn't really work considering there are 3 different factions. Now of course the first 2 heroes that we're most likely going to be getting are the Centurion and the Ninja. Now of course the Centurion one will be going towards the Knights and the Ninja will be going towards the Samurai, but this leaves Vikings without anyone. Now there has been another possible leak of a Highlander class, so you know, Braveheart style, we could be getting a Highlander with a giant bastard sword which could go into the Vikings, but unfortunately from what they've said we will be getting only 2 heroes per new season. So this means that if they do bring out the Centurion and the Ninja, Vikings get shafted. Now that's of course if the new heroes go to a certain one of the 3 factions. Now realistically guys, there's only 2 ways this can possibly go. They either bring out a brand new faction and that way they can have the 2 brand new heroes go to that faction and no one's going to be left out, or they can go the route of trying to stick these brand new heroes into the actual existing factions, which means that of course someone's going to be left out, and by the leaks that we have so far it means Vikings are going to be left out, which is a little shit. Or they could throw a curveball and basically bring out that Highlander as well as the Centurion and the Ninja, if those are the characters we are getting, which means that all 3 factions would get someone. Now that would be the better choice, either that or the mercenary faction would be the better choice, but in my personal opinion bringing out 2 characters for each of the factions and then just leaving one faction in the lurk is kind of shit. It feels bad for the Vikings if they don't get someone at all. Now of course some people say this doesn't really matter, we have 2 brand new heroes, whatever, but the whole point of the game is they've built this faction war, okay? So the whole point of it is you have the Vikings and the Knights and the Samurai all punching on with each other. It would be really fucking stupid from just a gameplay standpoint and just any standpoint whatsoever if the Knights got someone brand new, the Vikings got no one, and then the Samurais got someone brand new. From the faction war standpoint it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So I am really hoping that we do get a mercenary faction. The really good thing about having the mercenary faction means that it has no bearing whatsoever on the actual faction war. So you can just have these people fighting for gold or money or whatever you want. They're going to be joining whichever faction you're playing for, and you can just play those heroes. It makes sense from a lore perspective. It makes sense so it doesn't fuck with the whole trinity of the faction war, and overall it's just a good idea and it just solves all their issues. It also fixes the problem of them only having 2 heroes and someone getting left out, and this also means that they can release additional heroes later on whenever the fuck they want, because if they have a mercenary faction going on and say they want to release someone that has nothing to do with the current factions, say they want to release an Egyptian soldier, okay, Egyptians aren't going to fit into the Knights, they're not going to fit into the Samurai, and they're definitely not going to fit into the Vikings. By having the mercenary faction, what they can do is they can bring in this Egyptian warrior, let's say, and it will make complete and utter sense. You could say this guy's traveled and he's gotten to this point where he sees all these people fighting and he's gone, who wants to pay me enough money, I'll fight for you. That makes complete sense, and it actually puts them in a place where they can add additional things outside of the 3 existing factions without having to introduce an entire brand new faction on its own. Because in order for them to put in, say, a Egyptian fighter, or for them to put in a Mongol fighter, something like that, they will need to actually bring in a brand new faction. So they will have to have the Mongolian Empire as a faction, which of course, as we can see right now, they're struggling really fucking hard with just 3 factions right now. So I highly doubt Ubisoft will be pumping in money to bring in an entire brand new faction, and then of course that fucks with the faction war. And then on top of it, it just gets a little bit complicated, especially when we have this trinity right now. Can you imagine they add the Egyptians in, then they add the Mongolians, and they add the Huns, and they add the Russians, and then they just go on so forth throughout history, add all these really cool people, and then you have this like 20-man faction war. In my opinion, that would be actually pretty damn cool, but it does get a bit convoluted towards the end. Now, like I said, having the mercenary faction, that solves the problem of that, because you can have as many different warriors from as many different cultures as you want coming into play, and they can just be joining each existing faction, and this way you can have a whole bunch more diversity when it comes to the type of warriors from different backgrounds that we're seeing, and of course the faction war stays intact, which is one of the most important things, especially now that we know that at the end of every season the winning faction gets a whole bunch of cosmetic rewards that no one else gets, which is it's quite interesting interesting to see. Now let's go over the likelihood of seeing a mercenary faction. As far as we've been hinted to, Ubisoft hasn't said anything about this. As far as we know, they haven't even announced the new heroes yet, but as far as we know, we're getting 2 brand new heroes and we're not getting a third. It makes me think that they might be leaning towards the whole, Knights get the Centurion and Samurai get the Ninja and Vikings get Shafted. They could prove me wrong and they could have had this whole mercenary faction thing in mind the entire time, and that's what they plan to do. But the way that they're going with it, especially with the single player campaign, it has like some of the lore bits in there. During the Knight campaign refers to Romans, so Centurion of course. So it looks like that they might be just trying to, put these characters into the existing factions. If that's the case, it does mean we will be very limited with the different background of characters we will be getting. Of course, you could bring Greeks in as well. It's basically, you could bring Greeks in and then they could just keep expanding the whole Samurai one and the Viking one as well. But of course, we're not going to be seeing anything drastically different like, Sumerians or, like I said, the Mongolians or anything like that, which is going to be quite a shame because I reckon this game is perfect for having a whole bunch of different things from different eras. They could pull that off and it would be amazing. But at the end of the day, guys, it is a guessing game and we're going to have to wait and see. I really hope that they do bring in the mercenary faction. It will blow me away and I will be ecstatic if we have that because, like I said, the possibilities are endless with what they can do with that, and it makes sense lore-wise, it makes sense for the faction war, and overall, it will be the best solution for it and no one gets shafted, and that's the most important part. But we're going to have to wait and see. I think this week's Warrior Den, they're going to be releasing information when in regards to the brand new heroes. They fucking better, because there's a bit of back and forth conflict between some of the moderators, their Twitter account, the forums. We're getting mixed messages right now. Some people have been saying, we have one representative from the forum saying that we will be getting the brand new heroes a week before Season 2 starts, and then of course everyone else will get the new heroes a week after the Gold Edition players or the Season Pass players. And then you have on the Twitter, they said that we will be getting the brand new heroes and content weeks into the Season 2, so during Season 2, which could mean anywhere from, a couple days in to the last round we could get the brand new heroes. If that's the case, not a fucking good idea. Do not fucking do that, because the game's already in a lot of shit right now, and the only thing that's going to save this fucking shipwreck right now is brand new content. It's the only way you're going to get people to come back. The stability patch has brought with it a whole bunch of fucking just random shit. Like, there's a whole bunch of people who can't even play the game now. Like, they can't get into the game without it crashing because of this brand new stability patch. For me, I can get into the game, but it hasn't fixed any of the stability issues. I'm still getting booted and a whole bunch of other stuff, so I don't know what it was supposed to do, but it hasn't really done it, at least for me. There's a thread right now on the forums that's reached a couple of hundred people replying that have the exact same issue where they can't get into the goddamn game right now. It keeps crashing. The new patch has fixed things for some people and completely fucked it up for other people, which is a shame all over. But currently, we're going to have to wait and see what information we're getting, because they're dealing with this right now. But if they announce the new heroes and say they will be coming midway through Season 2, with all these issues right now that are going on with the brand new patch dropping, players that have already left, they want brand new content. They're not going to come back to the same old game with the same old problems, and especially they go into the forums, they go into Reddit and stuff, and they see the brand new stability patch has dropped and it's done nothing for majority of people still. They're not going to be happy about that, and they're not going to come back. But if you go, hey, brand new season is starting in a couple of weeks and we're going to have 2 brand new characters and a mercenary faction, and we're going to have all this cool shit and, like, the new maps they've promised, all that sort of stuff, then that will bring back those players that have left the game and are still maybe considering coming back. Until they have these brand new characters, they're not going to even touch this thing. And like I said, they need to bring out these brand new characters at the start of Season 2, not midway through, not at the end, not a couple of weeks into Season 2. At the start of Season 2, these characters need to be in. For the health of this game, they need this, okay? We all need this, because right now there's not much to look forward to when it comes to For Honor, except for these brand new characters and these brand new maps. And without them, it's looking pretty grim, okay? And I know a whole lot of people on the forums, like I said, that I've been reading in Reddit, a whole lot of people have already been saying that if the new heroes are going to be coming in halfway through in Season 2 or at the end of Season 2, they're done, they're out, and they're basically just going to jump ship, because those are the only things that are keeping them interested in the game right now, with all these additional issues that are plaguing the game. So thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Do you think that they're going to be releasing the brand new heroes at the start of Season Season 2, or do you think they're going to be a bit shit and release them later on? And if they do release them later on, are you going to stick around with the game, or are you going to give it a break and just leave for a while? And I really want to hear from you guys on whether a mercenary faction actually fixes everything like I've said, and whether it's a really good idea and you like the idea of having, say, Mongolians introduced, Egyptians introduced into the game, all that sort of cool shit. Let me know your thoughts about that. I really want to hear whether you think it's a good idea or not. And if you want to see more videos from me, please hit the subscribe button. I shall see you all in the next video. Have a good one, guys.